Welcome to the third and final lesson of our course. In this lesson, we'll finish adding the detail to the rest of the pieces. Let's start with the ribbon on the book here. This time it will be easy. We just need to soften it. Without removing the SMT, divide it until we are happy with the effect. We could try and make the curve more abrupt, adding more depth with the detail. Just try things out until you get something you like. We'll continue now with the leather straps. These will be similar to the ones we did on the cover and the back. Leather is flexible, which means it doesn't generate hard corners. We'll start as always, subdividing the piece without SMT, and then from level 6 onwards, activate it again. Then, with the trim dynamic, soften the borders. We could try to make it more realistic, adjusting the leather to the surface of the book with the move. So if there's a border, adjust it to how it would look with that border. To add to the worn look, we can add some ribs and tears to the leather with the damp standard brush on a high intensity. Again, use the damp standard with 57 or 56 alpha to achieve the leather look we got for the pieces on the cover. Then we'll work on the lower part of the straps by just following the same process on the front, but on the back. You can add all the details you like. You can detail the holes of the straps where the buckle goes through, you could make the areas around the buckle look more worn, etc. I think it looks fine, but you can look for references and carry on adding detail. Now we'll move on to the metal parts and the buckle. As these parts are so small, we don't need a huge amount of detail, so we'll just soften them with the trim dynamic after subdividing. It's also important to merge all the pieces together into one subtool, so you don't have to keep selecting different subtools. When detailing, it's important to know that you can apply any detail you want. There's no limit. You could spend hours detailing, but you also need to stop and think. Sometimes details look better subtler than overloaded. Okay, let's go with the eye, and here I'll introduce a new tool, the Polygroups. This tool is very useful to mask areas very quickly. To start, we'll subdivide the eye without deactivating the SMT. Then we'll mask the eyelids. Hold down Ctrl and make a square mask where the eyelid goes, using symmetry to make it equal on both sides. Then select the circular mask and delete the circle from the square mask so it looks like an eyelid. While we make the mask holding down Ctrl, we'll also hold down Alt, and when we're happy with the position, let go and erase the circle from the mask. Now we'll duplicate the sphere in the subtool menu, selecting Duplicate. Now we have two equal spheres. Then we'll go to the Polygroups menu and select Group Masked. You'll see that the masked area changes color. That means they're grouped. Now if you press Shift, plus Control and click on this part of the eyelid, the other part disappears. If you click on it again, the selection is reversed and everything we had visible is hidden. If you click outside the model, everything appears again. We'll just leave the eyelid and hold down Control outside of the model to be able to mask what's visible. We'll then make everything visible by pressing Shift plus Control and clicking outside. Now we place the part that isn't the eyelid inside the book with the move to hide it. Once that's done, go to the deformation menu and after reversing the mask, holding Control while clicking outside of the model, we'll use the inflate option to make the eyelid bulkier. So we now have the basic shape of the eyelid. We'll make the other one in the same way. Then we just need to use move and move the eyelids until we get the shape of the eye just like we have in the concept, and so it looks like a real eye, of course. When both are done, we can start to shape them. Try not to make the border too bulky, because the eye might look like it has some strange kind of disease. So using Trim Dynamic, flatten this part on both eyelids. The next step is to integrate the eye a little more into the book. We want to try and give the effect that the part of the book where the eye is organic. So we'll make some folds and volumes to simulate human skin. Select clay buildup and add some bulk over and under the eye, creating different levels of folds. Look for references to see how this looks on human skin. So just paint with the clay buildup and the damp standard to make those folds, and adjust whatever you need with move. If you think the eye is too small, scale it to make it bigger. I think it looks good like this, but as I said earlier, you can spend as much time as you need on it and add as many details as you want. So, we've reached the end of the course. I really hope you enjoyed it and you learned some new skills. Join me again soon for another Toothbed 3D course.